we present our daily news covering important political developments from yesterday and today. In a statement released through the Russian Ministry of Defense, Russian President Vladimir Putin once again issued threats toward Kyiv and Europe. He stated that if the opposing side and its allies refuse to engage in meaningful negotiations, Russia will use military means to liberate its historical lands. Putin emphasized that the administration of former U.S. President Joe Biden had placed Russia under dual pressure. According to Putin, leading European countries aligned themselves with the policies of the previous U.S. administration and believed that Russia would soon collapse. He recalled warning Europeans that Russia could one day use force against NATO countries. Putin said he had repeatedly described European claims about a Russian threat as groundless, but added that this was being done deliberately. Russia stated that it currently controls approximately 19% of Ukraine's territory. The Crimea Peninsula, annexed in 2014, the Donbas region, and several other areas not fully under control were mentioned. Defense Minister Andrei Belousov said that one of the objectives planned through 2026 is to increase the capacity of Russia's armed forces. On December 17th, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Venezuelan Foreign Minister Yvonne Gil held a telephone conversation. At a time when U.S. pressure on Venezuela is intensifying, China expressed its support for Venezuela's sovereignty. Beijing stressed that it opposes all forms of violence and supports respect for the sovereignty of all states. China also reaffirmed its support for protecting Venezuela's legitimate rights and interests. In addition, Nicolás Maduro addressed the people of Colombia, calling on them to stand in unity with Venezuela. Over the past 4 months, U.S. forces have significantly expanded their military presence in the Caribbean Sea. Statements linked to Trump suggested that U.S. troops could begin ground operations in Venezuelan territory. U.S. authorities confiscated several oil tankers linked to Venezuela and tightened sanctions. On December 17th, the Israeli Prime Minister announced that the largest gas deal in the country's history had been approved. Under the agreement, Chevron and other energy companies were granted export licenses to expand gas supplies to Egypt. The deal is valued at approximately $37 billion. Netanyahu praised the agreement, stating that it would strengthen Israel's economic stability in the region and generate around $18 billion in tax and other revenues over time. In August, it had already been reported that Chevron reached an agreement with Egypt, but the Israeli government confirmed it later. Previously, Israel's Ministry of Energy had opposed granting the export license, leading the U.S. Secretary of Energy to cancel a planned visit to Israel. Gas is critically important for Israel's economy and is mainly sold to Egypt. Israel and Egypt control movement related to the Gaza Strip. On December 17th, the U.S. Senate approved a major defense budget defining Pentagon policy. For the 2026 fiscal year, U.S. military spending will amount to $901 billion, which is $8 billion more than requested by Trump. The budget includes a 4% pay raise for military personnel. The budget also includes measures to modernize military equipment, prepare for competition with China, and provide assistance to Ukraine. For 2026, $800 million is allocated to Ukraine to be used to purchase weapons for the Ukrainian army from U.S. companies.